The morning rush at Cedarville Station was the usual chaos. Metallic clatters of rolling suitcases, the chatter of commuters, and the occasional echoing announcement over the speakers. People jostled for space, hurrying to trains they believed were more important than the moment they were in. But on Platform 3, an unusual stillness had settled. No footsteps, no voices, no squealing wheels. Only the soft whisper of wind against the station walls. In the middle of this silence stood Henry. Henry was an elephant, old and immense, with a gray, cracked hide that told the story of decades. His enormous feet rested heavily on the concrete, and his long trunk drooped almost mournfully. He wasn't a spectacle or a circus attraction. He was a worker, one who had belonged to this station for as long as anyone could remember. Commuters paused, eyes widening. Henry didn't move. He simply waited, as if the platform itself had grown quiet for him alone. Henry's skin was a map of years, deep creases, faded patches, and scars that told of storms weathered and heavy loads carried. Every movement was deliberate, slow, as if each step reminded him of decades spent on duty. His eyes, dark and patient, held a quiet exhaustion, the kind only a lifetime of work could create. For more than 40 years, Henry had been part of the Cedarville Railway Department. When storms toppled trees across tracks, he hauled them away. After floods washed out rails, he carried heavy equipment through mud and water. Bridges and tracks rebuilt under his steady strength. No task was too large, no terrain too rough. Yet what stood out most wasn't just his power, it was his loyalty. Every order, every instruction he followed without hesitation. From the roar of engines to the hiss of brakes, Henry moved not out of fear, but out of unwavering trust in those who led him. Henry's world had always revolved around one man, Samuel Carter. Samuel was not like the other handlers who barked commands or used ropes and chains to get results. He was gentle, patient, and understood the elephant's quiet rhythms. His hands never struck, his voice never raised. All he needed was care, trust, and a small silver whistle. The whistle was their secret language. One short blow meant stop, two quick notes signaled walk, a long, lingering tone meant rest. Henry had learned it all, every nuance over decades, responding not out of fear, but out of an understanding forged over years of companionship. Every morning, Samuel would appear at the edge of the station, carrying his thermos of tea, and Henry would lift his massive head in recognition. They would walk the tracks together, clearing debris or hauling supplies. Evenings were quieter. Samuel seated on his favorite wooden bench, whistle at his side, and Henry standing close, the soft rumble of his breathing matching the slow clatter of the trains. No one at the station ever doubted their bond. It was deeper than work, beyond instructions. It was trust made tangible, the kind that could never be broken. Then, one ordinary evening, everything changed. Samuel Carter didn't return from his rounds. A sudden heart attack had taken him, leaving no warning, no goodbye, no last command. Henry waited at the station, trunk drooping, ears limp, eyes searching every corner for the familiar figure. The whistles never came. The routine they had shared for decades vanished in an instant, leaving only silence. Henry stood unmoving, as if the platform itself had lost its purpose. The railway department was practical. Decisions were made quickly and without sentiment. Henry was old, they said, too old for the work he had done all his life. A file was signed, a transfer arranged. He would be sent to a wildlife sanctuary to live out the rest of his days. but Henry didn't move. The chains were brought, the workers pulled. He rumbled low, not in anger, not in fear, but in grief. The station felt empty, the world colder, without Samuel's voice to guide him. The paperwork was signed quickly, almost as if ticking boxes could erase 40 years of loyalty. Bureaucracy moved faster than grief, faster than Henry's heavy steps. The plan was simple: send him to Willow Creek Wildlife Sanctuary, where he could live out his days under distant, unfamiliar care. That morning, the platform was crowded with workers and the hum of the cargo train waiting to carry Henry away. Chains were readied, ropes in place, and instructions barked over whistles and shouts. But Henry didn't budge. He stood in the middle of Platform 3, trunk hanging, eyes fixed on the empty wooden bench where Samuel used to sit each evening. Workers tugged gently, then harder, but the old elephant refused. There was no panic, no anger, only quiet resistance. Every command, every pull met with stillness. For a moment, it felt as if the station itself was holding its breath, waiting for something impossible to return. The workers grew anxious. The cargo train's horn blared, its schedule slipping by the minute. "Move him," someone shouted. Chains rattled against Henry's thick legs, but still he didn't budge. Tension crackled in the air, a mix of frustration and unease. Then, from the station master's office, a familiar sound cut through the chaos, a sharp, clear whistle. Henry froze, his ears lifted, head tilting slightly. Every movement on the platform seemed to stop. Station Master Lewis stepped forward, holding a small silver whistle. "It was Samuel's," he said, voice trembling. "We found it in his locker. He used to blow it every evening before going home." Henry's eyes softened. He lifted one massive foot, then another, stepping slowly toward the train. For a moment, he paused, glancing back at the empty wooden bench. Memories of years of trust and companionship flashed across his tired eyes. Without anyone pulling, without force, Henry walked into the cargo car. But before the train moved, he lowered his trunk gently to the platform, resting it where Samuel's feet had once stood. A final, silent farewell. The whistle's echo lingered in the morning air, a bond that even time could not break. At Willow Creek Wildlife Sanctuary, Henry's days were quiet. The caretakers fed him, cleaned his enclosure, and guided him gently, but nothing could replace the rhythm of the station or the presence of Samuel Carter. Yet every evening, as the sun dipped low, Henry would walk to the far edge of the sanctuary and stop. He stood there, ears twitching, listening. Caretakers noticed his stillness, the way his massive body seemed to tense and relax in time with some invisible signal. Sometimes, a distant train rumbled through the valley, and Henry's eyes would close. His trunk lowered, his breathing deepened, and for a brief moment, it seemed as if he could still hear the familiar whistle carried by the wind. Though Samuel was gone, Henry's loyalty remained. Some bonds, it seemed, could not be broken by distance, time, or even death. They lived on in memory, in habit, in love.